Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive.
Always exciting.
Today we're heading over to the Faroe Islands.
All right.
For a quick look at some of the recent news.
Yeah.
And we'll peek in on some sports.
Right?
And the weather, of course.
Can't miss the weather.
Now, if you've been following along with Faroe's news,
Right.
you'll know that there were just some municipal elections.
Yes.
And things have been pretty interesting since then.
For sure.
So let's jump right in there.
Okay, sounds good.
So in Vagar,
Yes.
the incumbent mayor actually ended up losing the election.
You'd think that would be it then.
Yeah, you would think so.
But he actually formed a coalition with another party
Yeah, it's wild.
and stayed in power.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty surprising.
Definitely not what anyone expected.
And then there's also that report of a police investigation into the election in Oyundarfjörður.
Yeah, we'll have to see how that one unfolds.
Some interesting stuff there.
For sure.
Moving away from politics, though, let's talk about some culture.
Always a good topic.
So Kringvarp Faroe is airing this series called Faroe's Fiction.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, it's 15 different films over 5 nights.
Wow.
So lots to watch there.
Sounds great.
And on top of that, the Faroes literary journal, Vensel,
Oh, yeah.
has just published a new volume.
I can't believe it's volume 23 already.
No kidding, the 22nd volume was just released earlier this year.
Wow, they've been busy.
So much going on over there.
Yeah.
Now on to some economic news.
Right.
There's been quite a bit of debate lately about the possibility of raising the retirement age.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Especially with the Faroes Craftsmen's Association raising concerns.
Makes sense given how physically demanding those jobs can be.
For sure, it's definitely a conversation worth having.
Absolutely.
Now, on the other hand, construction on that Via Jarnir Sports Hall is almost complete.
That's good news.
Yeah, and Faroes employment is also up compared to last year.
That's fantastic to hear.
So that's positive. And then there's the fish export values.
Oh, right.
They've actually seen a bit of a dip lately.
Even though some Faroes fishing vessels are leading in catches.
It just goes to show the impact of global markets.
Yeah, it's tough out there.
All right, well, let's switch gears and talk about some sports.
I was hoping we'd get to that.
So the Faroe Islands national football team,
Okay.
they recently had a match against North Macedonia.
How'd they do?
Unfortunately, it was a loss.
Ah, too bad.
The coach mentioned in the post-game analysis that the team lacked decisiveness.
That's usually a key factor.
It really is.
Well, hopefully they'll bounce back.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Were there any changes to the lineup?
Yeah, actually, Heller Hansen got a start this time.
Okay.
Now, moving away from football,
Okay.
Mjolnir actually beat Flair in volleyball.
Really nice.
And then, for all you chess fans out there,
Okay.
Hanni Eaglestoft Nielsen just won the Faroes Rapid Chess Championship.
Wow. Congratulations.
If you want to catch up on all the sports news,
Yeah.
you can head over to in.foa.
Perfect.
Okay, so last but certainly not least,
Yeah.
we have to talk about the weather.
Of course.
So the police have been issuing warnings about icy road conditions
This time of year, yeah.
and looking at the forecast for next week.
What's it looking like?
It's going to be pretty typical for a Faroes winter.
Oh.
Cold,
All right.
some potential snow,
Okay.
strong winds.
Yeah, that was about right.
So yeah, be careful out there.
Good advice.
So that's a quick look at some of what's going on in the Faroe Islands right now.
Yeah, politics to sports to weather.
It's always interesting to see what's happening over there.
Yeah, for sure.
Now let's dive a little deeper into some of these topics.
Okay, I'm ready. That whole situation in Vagar is pretty wild.
I know, right? You don't see that every day.
Losing an election and then still managing to hold on to power.
It makes you wonder what kind of deals were made behind the scenes.
For sure. And then there's the police investigation in Oyundarfjörður.
Yeah, that one's a bit of a mystery.
Hopefully we'll get some more information on that soon.
Transparency is so important when it comes to elections.
Absolutely. People need to be able to trust the process.
And speaking of trust, there's also that ongoing debate about public procurement rules.
Oh, right. Those potential violations.
It seems like this comes up every few years.
I guess some people are always looking for a way to bend the rules.
It's a tough balance, though, between having strict regulations and not stifling innovation.
Yeah, too much bureaucracy can really slow things down.
All right, well, let's move on to something a bit more fun.
Sounds good.
I'm really excited about that Faroes fiction series on Kringvarp Faroe.
Me too. 15 films in 5 nights. That's a lot of cinema.
It's a great opportunity to see what Faroes filmmakers are up to.
And some of those films have even been recognized at international festivals.
That's amazing to see Faroes talent getting global recognition.
It really is. And then there's Wenzel, the literary journal.
23 volumes. That's
Yeah.
incredible.
It shows how vibrant the Faroes literary scene is.
So much creativity coming out of those islands.
It's really inspiring.
All right, let's circle back to the economy for a moment.
Okay.
That debate over raising the retirement age is pretty complex.
Yeah, especially when you consider the concerns of the Faroes Craftsmen's Association.
They make a valid point about the physical demands of their work.
It's not a one-size-fits-all
We
situation
need to find a solution that works for everyone.
and ensures the well-being of the workforce.
Definitely a challenge,
Yeah.
but at least we're seeing some positive signs in other areas.
Like what?
Well, the Veteranier Sports Hall is almost finished,
Oh, yeah, that's right.
and overall employment is up.
That's fantastic news.
It's not all doom and gloom.
Definitely not. And even though fish export values are down,
Right.
the fact that some Faroes fishing vessels are leading in catches is a good sign.
It shows that they're still competitive in the global market.
Hard work and expertise pay off.
Absolutely. And speaking of expertise, congratulations to Honey Egelstoft Nielsen for winning the Faroes Rapid Chess Championship.
That's quite an accomplishment.
It's always great to see individuals excelling in their fields.
And not just teams.
Exactly. And while the football team's loss to North Macedonia was a setback,
Yeah.
the coach seems to have a positive outlook.
Focusing on learning from the experience.
That's important.
It's all about growth and adaptability.
All right, well, before we wrap up,
Yes.
we have to talk about the elephant in the room.
Which is the
Weather. Oh, right, the icy roads and all that.
The police are urging everyone to be careful.
Especially with that forecast for next week.
It's going to be a true Faroes winter.
Cold, snowy, windy.
The whole package.
Better bundle up.
So with that image of a snowy Faroes landscape in mind,
Okay.
let's move on to our final thoughts on this deep dive into the Faroe Islands.
You know, it's amazing when you think about it.
What's that?
We've talked about politics and culture and the economy and sports and even the weather.
Yeah,
It's all connected.
it really is. It all comes together to paint this picture of life in the Faroe Islands.
Exactly. Even on a small island like that.
Right. You see those same forces at play that shape the whole world.
The pursuit of power. The drive to create the ups and downs of the economy.
The thrill of victory, the power of nature.
And all of that against the backdrop of this incredible landscape.
Rugged mountains, the wild ocean, the ever-changing weather.
Speaking of which, we can't forget about those icy roads.
No, definitely not. Winter is here.
And it's a force to be reckoned with.
For sure. But it's also beautiful, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a certain magic to a Faroe's winter.
It's a reminder that life there is closely tied to nature.
You have to respect the power of the elements.
And be prepared for anything.
Well said. So what do you think, listener?
Yeah, what are your takeaways from all this?
What stood out to you?
What are you curious about?
What opportunities or challenges do you see on the horizon for the Faroe Islands?
We'd love to hear your thoughts.
If you want to learn more about any of the topics we discussed today,
Be sure to check out the source materials.
we'll include links in the show notes.
And until next time,
Stay curious and keep exploring.
see you on our next deep dive.
Bye, everyone.